Richard Hake here with Denny 62. I just wanted to kind of chime in again, trying to make this a weekly thing. It's about talking about the A's and baseball and in general. If you guys, I'm gonna give you a second to come in. Hopefully, you guys might have some questions and stuff. But it's been a pretty eventful week. Over the weekend, the A's took on the Astros, and there's a big bright spot right there. The A's took on the Astros, and it was a pretty contentious series, given the fact that there's no fans, little less than what we really wanted and expected. A's fans all off season had just planned to come in and just make as much noise as possible. And everything regarding the Astros cheating scandal, everybody was hoping that they would have the opportunity to rub it in their face a little bit. And unfortunately, without fans, that's not a possibility. But some fans did get together and put some money together to fly a banner over the Coliseum with Houston Asterix, was the banner, which was a nice troll, but at the same time without being too wordy. I don't know. I suppose that they charge per word. I know it's not exactly cheap to put those planes in the air, and they had to do it during or pregame. They couldn't do it during game because after 9/11 there was a whole thing about flyovers during games and it's restricted airspace over stadiums, even though there's nobody in them. Anyways, so yeah, they put up the banner, and there were some interesting, little bits of music and walk-up songs and stuff that kind of jabbed, but not too much. But the big story through the whole thing, of course, was a scuffle between Ramon Laureano and essentially the entire Astros bench after. On Friday's game, he had been hit by Castellanos, and then the following Sunday, hit by Castellanos again, as well as being hit by another pitcher at two separate at bats. People say that the scorecard says 5 hit by pitch, but the real thing is that it's actually 2 guys who were hit by pitches, and I don't know why it got dark all of a sudden. But anyways, yeah, I'm in the car. It's 100 degrees outside, the heat wave right now. Anyways, 2 guys got hit by pitches. It was Ramon Laureano and Grossman, who are arguably the 2 biggest hitters in the league. It's a mess. It got really bad. We're not in the league. I'm sorry, on the team. The 2 highest by average. Ramon Laureano was hitting close to 300, and Grossman was hitting somewhere around 250 to 275 in there. Batting averages are really low right now, not just with the A's, but across the league. Some of the biggest hitters are just not doing anything right now. The bigger thing though was Ramon was hit 3 times, once on the Friday game and twice on the Sunday game, and the Castellanos is he's new. This is his first run in MLB. At the majors level. Last season, I think he only pitched maybe AA, and not for even the whole season, mostly a single A pitcher. So he does lack some of the control and some of the calmness of being able to hold himself together in these tight situations. But anyways, he hits Laureano. Laureano doesn't charge the mound. He doesn't, doesn't rip into the guy too much, but he's like, you got to put a little twist on the, you got to release here. Like he's giving the kid pitching lessons on the way to taking first. But then the I think he's the hitting coach for the Astros. Cintron was barking something from the dugout. He actually stepped out of the dugout and was like, come on. And at that point, Laureano charged him. Um, the catcher Garneau for the Rangers tackled Laureano and actually kind of covered him up. Apparently, Garneau was he was on the A's last season, and he has a friendship with Laureano, and he through all this, which was really cool. They were very gracious and respectful of each other, and Laureano came out a day or two later, and he's like, thank you because you protected me. Because if he didn't, Laureano was on the ground, he could have easily taken some kicks to the ribs or the face. He was in the bottom of that scrum, and it could have been real bad for him. Especially being outnumbered. A's catcher Austin Allen got in there somehow. Cintron was not ejected. Nobody in the Astros was ejected, but Laureano and Allen were both ejected. A couple days later, there was a sorry, I keep getting messages here. Laureano was suspended for 6 games. Started off as 5, as they were reported 5, and then it went up to 6. So there's this miscommunication somewhere. Citron was suspended for. They didn't use suspended. He was banned for 20 games. So I guess when you're a coach, it's a little different. Um, I guess you can't play as a player. You can practice, I guess, and travel with the team and stuff. As a player, you just can't play. You won't get paid. But as a manager, I'm guessing that you are just not a. You're a coach, so really your job is off the field, not during game time. You can't be. So I'm guessing they're banned from being at practices and just being with the team at all during that period. So I guess that's the difference between a ban and a suspension. Nobody's explained that, so I'm just guessing. Um, but so I wanted to come on yesterday, but one, I was in a kind of a remote area. I went to Stinson Beach. Like I said, there's a heat wave going on right now. Um, it's in the high 90s actually right here. I'm in El Cerrito. I came to Home Depot and picked up some stuff. I'm gonna try to get some things done while I'm locked in the house. And then, anyways, I also wanted to wait for the appeal that Laureano had to MLB to, uh, I guess, either lower or throw out the suspension altogether. Anyways, that came back today, Friday. I'm trying to do these on Thursdays. A's were off yesterday, so the A's are. Laureano's suspension was lowered. It went from 6 to 4 games. I like to say it's for each time Castellanos hit him with a pitch, knocked off a day, which was the same amount that Joe Kelly. Joe Kelly's a pitcher for the uh, Los Angeles Dodgers, and he got in trouble. He was having a lot of command issues altogether. He was coming up and inside, and he was throwing wild his entire outing. And um, I guess one either I still don't know if it was intentional. Um, they're treating like it was intentional, but one came up and in on oh great, I can't even remember which player it was. Anyways, on a I want to say it was Korea. A ball came up and in on him, and he didn't even hit him, but he was real mouthy at him and stuff. Anyways, they suspended him for 8 games, and they knocked it down to 6. For a pitcher, that's really like being out for like 1 or 2 games because they're only in a rotate. Starting pitchers only come in on a rotation, so they might pitch once every 4 or 5 days unless they're a reliever, and then that's even more. But still, for a pitcher, 6 games is 6 games. You might not pitch those games, but those games still count. So really, you're only out like 1 or 2 games. It's silly, but anyways, now his was also reduced. Um, MLB was supposed to be taking this whole COVID thing really seriously, and everything was going to be really stiff if there was any of these altercations and face-to-face blow-ups, like uh, if a manager gets in the face of an ump, that could be one of these issues that also comes up, where you'll see a heavy suspension or fine or whatever. There are some fines that were in this. They're unspecified, so I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means giving up their pay or what, or what's on top of it, or if it's a small fine or a big fine. They're unspecified. So as we stand, the A's are back in town, but they're playing San Francisco. They have a three-game set with San Francisco in San Francisco, and then they go to Arizona, I believe, is Monday and through Wednesday. I could be really off with these numbers. I should have looked at the schedule ahead of time. But anyways, they're on the road. Laureano will be out for, again, 4 games, so he should be back on Tuesday. Hopefully, the Giants are light work. We won't miss Laureano too much. He's been the most consistent bat, and his gameplay on Tuesday was outstanding. Was it Tuesday? No, it was Wednesday. I'm sorry. This is the last game. 2 huge plays. Robbed a home run. They got battered pretty badly in that series. They lost one, and it was just a hit parade on that the Monday game against the Angels. Um, they ended up losing that one, 9-10. Then they got blanked 6-0 on Tuesday, and then they came back, and it was just a home run derby on Wednesday. Um, and I mean, Trout was a beast the whole time. They got multiple homer games. That guy, that guy's head is huge. Um, his he's just bulky and big. Uh, a lot of people were asking about steroids, and I gotta wonder about him, because he is the biggest name in the game. He is the wonderkind for MLB. He's the poster child, and I wonder if he does anything and gets a free pass because he is Mike Trout. And that really begs uh, the question of whether uh, if he gets something, if he gets special treatment. There were supposed to be all these rules with quarantines and stuff. His wife just had a baby or babies. I think he just has one. Um, anyways, he leaves, goes on paternity leaves, and comes right back and plays again. No 14-day quarantine. I thought that was what was supposed to happen. So again, I'm wondering if he's getting special treatment, or maybe I'm just wrong about the MLB rules on that. I mean, because they wrote a freaking book about the rules for this season. It's thick. It's hundreds and hundreds of pages of all the rules and regulations for dealing with COVID and the different rule changes and situations. And like I said, I think Trout gets a little bit of some special treatment there. Anyways, uh, that guy, he was a beast the entire series. Angels did take the series, but the A's still in first. I believe there are 4 games up right now in the division. Surprisingly, the Texas Rangers overtook uh, the second spot. So the Astros are really hurting right now. They've lost a couple pitchers. They're dealing with some big issues. Springer was out for the A's series. He should maybe be back soon. Still no word on Verlander. He's at one point it was out for the whole season. Then it was just 2 weeks. So if that's the case, he should be coming back soon. We'll see about that. There's a lot of ifs around baseball right now. Guys like Yoenis Cespedes just disappeared one day, and then suddenly he was out for the season. He was going to opt out. There's just a lot going on. There's some teams who haven't played. The Cardinals, they're dealing with the COVID-19 stuff. Several players positive, but they've gone days without playing games. The other teams like the Marlins and the Cubs and stuff, they're starting to catch up on their games. A lot of double headers to happen. Um, but yeah, so the big thing this week though was Ramon Laureano. His again his suspension was knocked down from 6 games to 4, so he'll be back early next week. He's going to give some other guys some chances in the outfield. I suspect that Canna will come in um, as his replacement. I don't know if they'll move somebody into center field um, uh, or if they'll maybe even Seth Brown. I mean, they do have quite a few guys that they can pull for the outfield. Um, Chad Pinder's a utility guy. He plays a lot of different positions. But that also, you also have Chris Davis who can play left field. Not nearly as effectively. He's got a really weak arm. But it would be nice to see him doing something besides not hitting the ball. That's an unfortunate thing is Chris Davis is really, really off to a bad start. You saw some signs of life. He had a homer and then some RBIs, and then he just fell off again, and he's back into his slump. So that guy's hitting like 160. He's really down there, and he's down on himself. He's stuck in his own head. So hopefully they work with him and they can get him out of it. But I expect somebody else. Since Laureano's out, Canna has been kind of the DH guy. I think Tony Kemp has been in there once or twice as the DH, but I have a feeling just because they have a lack of that power hitting, that they'll put somebody else in there. Then again, could be all wrong. I'm guessing. I haven't heard how they're going to deal with that, especially again since it came down today. Um, you know, uh, Bob Melvin has been making lineups with and without Laureano, so I'm sure he's got a plan. We'll see some other guys get some play time, and hopefully the A's come out firing on all cylinders with San Francisco again, a 3-game set. So if you're lucky enough to live in the Bay Area, you can't watch it unless you have cable or a VPN. Get yourself a VPN. I promise you. Uh, I don't have a sponsor for this, but if I could tell you anything about this, get yourself a VPN. I got tired of dealing with the networks, and some games would be on the local stations, or I need to get an ESPN account. ESPN wasn't playing the games there. You had to have a special account. There's blackouts. There's all these issues. VPN solved everything for me. I'm a season A or A's season ticket holder, or access, or whatever you call it. With that package, you actually got the MLB Network subscription for free. I got myself a VPN. Said I live in Germany or something, and then you know when it looks through the um, your location settings, it says that you're out of the blackout area, and it will televise the game. So I don't understand why MLB, since there's no fans in the area or at any of the games, why they didn't try and work out a new blackout thing. Um, I know it has to do with contracts with their home networks. Is where they come from. It's not like the NFL blackouts where it had to do with whether a game was sold out or not. Um, Fan attendance, local. There's just so much stuff in difference between other league blackouts and MLB blackouts. Um, so initially, I looked at them all the same, but they are different. But yeah, get yourself a VPN. I promise you, it actually works for other stuff too. Helps you with watching live versus watching later on. If you're I'm going to use wrestling as an example. Sometimes you're watching a show. It's live on the East Coast, and then you get the recorded version on the West Coast. Saturday Night Live would probably be one of those shows that you get an East Coast feed versus a West Coast feed, a live feed versus a pre-recorded feed. And MLB does the same thing. Sure, you have your package, but at the end of the day, you don't get to watch the live game. You got to come back at midnight and watch the recorded version. So if anybody's having trouble just finding games, just get yourself one subscription versus multiple. Because not you're not just watching your A's games. You can watch the Giants and any of the 28 other teams, um, any game, anytime. It's been an amazing thing, and I don't think I'm going to go back to regular cable. Um, and this isn't the only thing. Totally not age related, but yeah, I got rid of my cable television subscription because it's super expensive. I just have internet. I have the Comcast Flex package, and they just gave me like a little box. Similar to it's a Google box, a Droid, whatever you call it. It's similar to like the Apple TV or something. You got a remote, you can stream apps, and I just buy the stuff I need and cut out the stuff I don't. You know, it's been a lifesaver, money saver, especially these days. I probably have now more subscriptions than I need, but there's a lot of options out there. Anyways, I'm not getting any questions or comments, so I'm going to cut this short. Again, Laureano will be back next week. His suspension went from 6 games to 4. They play the Giants this weekend, and then go to Arizona. And then hopefully I'll be back on Wednesday. I don't remember who's coming to town next week. The A's do have they have this set out or on the road, and then they'll be back, I believe, next weekend. So hopefully we'll get to see some more games. Again, if you guys see me on here, come in, talk. Let's chat. Yeah, I can go for, instead of 10, 15, 20 minutes, I can go for, an hour or something like that. Anyways, guys, have a great weekend. Stay cool. Like I said, 100-degree temperatures all over the bay. Get yourself some air conditioning or go swimming. If you go to the beach, wear your masks, keep your distance. Be safe, be cool, be healthy. You guys have a good day.